Alright, in this video I'm hoping to review for you the Krazy Wolf Planer board with the Tattle flag kit, available on Amazon for just about $25 a piece. And the real question is to compare this to its predecessor, the Offshore Planer OR12 kit with a Tattle flag. You can get the two of these for about $50 or two of these for $109 on Amazon. So the real question is, how do they compare, and is it worth the savings on this planer board? So I'm going to tell you that my conclusion for the way I troll is that I'm getting rid of the Krazy Wolf and I'm spending the money on the Offshore planers without the Tattle flag kits, and I'll explain more about that at the end of this video. But in terms of the Krazy Wolf, first thing for this video, you should know that the Krazy Wolf does not come with this release. That is an OR39 SAMS Pro release that I had to modify the board to take. These are the releases that the Krazy Wolf comes with, and they're bad. Maybe if you're, crappie fishing with monofilament lines and you really don't need something to grab very much, they're fine. But almost all of my trolling is with braided line, and these either would not hold on to the line or the line would cut into the plastic and then it wouldn't let go of the line, and that was really hard. Also, if you're one of those trollers who wants to use the board and have them not let go of your line, you're going to have a difficult time with that as well. You can see on this one it got so bad that I ended up, when the plastic came off the bottom, I ended up super gluing an Offshore tackle pad in there. Let's see if we can make that focus a little bit better. And that worked for the rest of the season, but I got fed up with these and I ended up modifying the Krazy Wolf to take a different release. And so where most of these releases on an Offshore tackle board you can just bolt right on and go, the Krazy Wolf, I think because it's probably a Chinese knockoff and they had to change it enough so that people like Offshore couldn't sue them, they changed this for their design, and so I had to do a tremendous amount of filing and drilling just to make this possible. But that did actually make this a usable board with a different release. Now, when I'm using these boards, I end up running 3 boards on each side, and the main thing is that my Offshore planers are always on the outside, and this is always my inside board for a few different reasons. Basically, this is not as reliable of a board, it doesn't deploy as consistently, and it doesn't track as true as the others. You can see that the Offshore has, I don't know, this bar of metal throughout the entire base, where I think the Krazy Wolf maybe has lead, maybe this is steel or something like that, I don't know. But the Offshore floats better in the water, it rides more consistently, it rides truer, it deploys more reliably, where at its worst the Krazy Wolf will go out, and then when you go to deploy it, it can submarine and twist, and so I always have it only as an inside board close to the boat so that if it screws up or messes up, I don't have boards between it and the boat. It does come with a Tattle flag, but I'll be honest, most of my trolling is deeper with heavier crankbaits and stuff like that, and so if I'm using the Tattle flag, it's already pulling down most of the time anyway because I can't get that spring tension. Even at its highest setting, doesn't always do a great job, but that's worth noting if you're a Tattle flag person. One other noteworthy thing is I was fishing the other night from sunset into a really dark night. I was really surprised at the 2 different plastics. And the Offshore tackle, I don't know if this is on purpose or if it's an accident, actually has way more of a high-vis in low light plastic. I could still see these when these were when the Krazy Wolf was virtually invisible. So, those are some of the pros and cons. I think, if you do more light trolling with monofilament lines and it's typically smooth water and slow speeds, it might be worth saving half the money to do the Krazy Wolf, if you don't mind these clips and others. But for me, I'm going to be phasing these out, probably throwing them on eBay or something like that, and moving everything to Offshore. One other thing I should have mentioned earlier is that when these are riding in the water, when everything's deployed and everything's going smoothly, The offshore, they're so steady, they're so smooth, and they're so true, so that, like I said earlier, those tattle flags are not very reliable for me. I'm watching the board. And so with an offshore, I know if it's kind of a tug and going forward and tug and going forward, that's clearly a fish. When these start doing squirrely things, it's almost always a fish on the line, or you're tangled. Whereas with the Krazy Wolf, even with nothing on them, they're porpoising, they're wobbling, like this. And half the time, I'm looking at these next to the offshore, and I often think there's a fish on the line, and there isn't. So it's not as smooth, it's not as true, it's not as reliable. And I'm at a point where I don't want to mess around second guessing these boards. So if you have any other thoughts on this, please leave them in the comments. If you're interested in these boards, you could also send me a message through YouTube as well. And any other information you have, please share it. I'm going to be putting together some other videos in terms of both fishing and fishing gear, as well as the art that I do, the fish printing and such, nature printing. So please consider subscribing to my station. The hope is that eventually I'll have enough subscribers and people watching my footage that I might be able to make a little bit of money off of this. So thanks in advance for helping me out there, and let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you.